Why is Hitchcock so influential? Well, I think it's because he challenged himself when producing films, and he decided to discard certain cinematic elements to focus on other cinematic elements and challenge himself by kind of handcuffing himself with these limitations. Well, what am I talking about? Well, let's look at a couple of his films. Rear Window, for instance. Rear Window, he focuses on a limited point of view to build suspense. In this film, we have a photographer who is shored up at home with a broken leg. He can't go anywhere. So what does he do? He watches his neighbors. So this film, instead of shooting this film where, we see things from a third person perspective or an omniscient perspective, what Hitchcock does is he focuses in on L.B. Jeffries' experience. And he gets the audience to share in that same experience by limiting our point of view. When Jeffries looks across the way at one of his neighbors and he lifts up a camera lens, the next shot is us seeing what he sees, an iris shot of Miss Lonely Heart struggling with a date. We experience what L.B. Jeffries experiences, and this pays off at the end because there are times where the danger lurks just off screen. It just lurks right off the frame. Hitchcock doesn't show us the whole picture. That can build suspense. He does the complete opposite in a film like North by Northwest, where he places the protagonist, Roger Thornhill, in the middle of an open field. He's going to meet someone. And yet, later on in the scene, somebody tries to kill him. In this case, it's an airplane, a crop duster that comes around, and instead of dusting crops, it is raining bullets. So the danger is ever present. In many suspenseful films, the danger is hiding in a shadow or behind a closed door. In this case, the danger is ever present. It's always flying around. What Hitchcock does is he builds suspense by flipping the script. The suspense isn't the danger hiding. The suspense comes from the protagonist having nowhere to hide. And we identify with that character, and we are aware of this ever-present danger, and we have nowhere to go. That builds suspense, and that's exciting to experience. Finally, in a film like Rope, instead of relying on editing technique to build suspense or to quicken the pace, what Hitchcock does is he limits the edits in the film. I believe there's only 8 edits in the entire film. So instead of being bombarded by a bunch of edits like you would see in a Jason Bourne film or 007 or Fast and Furious film, instead he relies on camera movement, moving around the scene constantly. Lighting, atmospheric lighting, and diegetic sound. He uses all of those elements to build suspense. And it gets us wondering, are these killers going to get away with it? When Hitchcock challenged himself, it highlighted the potential of these elements that may have been overlooked in the past. And so filmmakers saw what he did, what he experimented with, and they latched on to those successes and they incorporated them into their own films. That's why I believe Hitchcock is so influential.